Today's session is going to be part 22 for this playthrough of Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Tonight we're wrapping up the last segment for the fifth stage. I'm not really a particular fan of this mechanic overall, but you know it kind of is what it is. It's not horrible, but I don't know. It just felt like this was a strange addition to a game that was already busy. But after this is done, we're kind of already in the home stretch. We're getting to be quite ready to finish up with the game, actually. Looks like I had some pretty unfortunate timing. I think the ad roll just barely came up. Light this punk on fire. Light that punk on fire. I'll give you such a wallop! Yeah, I hope everybody's been doing well. I know it's actually been now a couple of weeks since we were last live, but that's just been the nature of how things go, especially around the holidays. Things just get busy. I'm sure everybody understands. But I'm actually getting real excited to wrap this up. And it's not just because I would like to get done with this game, but you know, it does mean that we will be able to move on to Echoes of Wisdom, which I'm eager to get a start in, because I've never played it. It'll be interesting to feature a Zelda game on stream that I have never played before. Let's see, how do we... There's supposed to be a way to... There we go. Attaching the proper weapon to this construct will enable it to attack at distant enemies. Take careful aim, and the tide of battle will turn in our favor. Go forth and defeat the monsters which stand in our way. Whoops. Let's see, how do I attach? Not gonna lie, the cannon's kind of dope. Having to sit and rest for moments at a time while using the construct, that's, I think, one of the most infuriating things about this mechanic to me. I don't like to have to sit and be patient while I wait to recharge. I'm in trouble. Yep. Kind of saw that coming. Hey, we actually get one to the death counter for once. This might not have been the best place for me to stop playing this game at. no idea if we're actually successfully taking them out or if we're just kind of making them all angry. My guess is probably the latter. Ooh, boy. Well, we got one. Starting to think maybe we should have gone with a different combination. Well, now we have that opportunity because that cannon's pretty much busted. The cannon's actually back already. Whoops. This is basically a perfect demonstration for why I don't particularly love this segment of this game. Silver horrible horn, huh? Okay. I'm starting to think maybe I'm not going to be able to get off. Or get up that way, I mean. How goes crying in the club? Zelda remix. How's it going, Power? Been a minute since I've seen you. It's going pretty good. Yeah, just making some overtures to try and finish this up, hopefully soon-ish. I would like to within the next week, really. So we get the opportunity to start on Echoes of Wisdom. Hope you've been well. Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of traffic in here yet tonight, so it was good to see somebody pop in the chat at the very least. How are things? Oh boy. Oof. Slap! That's a good time to pick up a royal bow. Blue Hinox horn. Can't carry any more melee weapons. Time on Twitch is so often divided so much that the time my day normally stream. No worries. No worries. I know that my streaming schedule is not always entirely conducive. I do try to at least make it so that the Fridays or Saturdays are a little bit more accessible, but I understand that they are also the times that people are most likely to be hanging out with friends or family on the weekends. So I'm just streaming for loners, really. Which come and go. Link, we are close now to the secret stone. Draw forth the hidden power in this construct and press onward. Do I even want a cannon this time around? I don't even know. Oops. I think we want to replace the fan. Oh, I completely forgot that this thing can guard. Yep. 4 streams going. Maximize that time. Well, I hope that you've been well and that things have been going well for you at home. Because I know it's been a minute since we've checked in. first half of October wasn't so good. You know, I can kind of sympathize with that. I don't know what it is, but something about October makes DLC absolutely nuts, and I have no idea what it is. But really, something about the month of October last year also just made him like, he was a werewolf last year because we straight up had such a hard time getting him to just like be chill, and it always felt like it was something to do with like the full moon. The October time of year is also when the harvest moon is at, so, or October, November, and I think really that might have a lot to do with it. But yeah, I definitely understand and can sympathize with October being kind of a rough go. And there was a lot of things going on in October as well, so that's for sure. Heck yeah, let's get some Zonite. Woo! Oh, damn. Totally did not mean to attach Zonite to my hand. Hey, Moon. Welcome in. I saw your update today that you are finally getting the floors done. Actually, October's pretty good, being the month of my birthday. Both my grandma and one of my sister's dogs had to move in the first half of October. It sounds like you had a kind of a busy time then. Yeah, I felt like October, it went by super fast for us, but it was like there was a lot of good things to look forward to doing, but at the same time, there was just like, it was almost too much to do. And that on top of DLC just kind of having a really hard time, just made for a lot. Thankfully, he's calmed down a bit, and life is kind of a little normal again, but that was seriously a rough go. Work starts Thursday on the floors. Awesome. I can move my stuff back in on Sunday. I look forward to being able to sit in on your streams, hopefully on Sunday mornings. Or Saturday mornings. Whichever day you're usually streaming that I'm available. Pretty sure it's Saturdays. Hope not another false start, yeah. So many races coming up, not even funny. So much to do, so little time, huh? So much prep work. But I'm sure you're gonna do great. I seem to recall there being like gems and stuff in here. It's the only reason why I'm bothering to break all of this apart, is because I really want to make sure that we don't miss out on any potential gems. Starting to think there weren't. Maybe it's just the Zonite deposit. There's at least some rock salt in here. Lots of races comes with lots of streams. Suppose that is definitely true. My attention has been trying to shift a little bit lately off of doing so much music stuff and coming back into doing more gaming. At the moment, I'm working on this playthrough for God of War Ragnarok on my free time. The thing is that I actually started it back in September, and it's been a slow crawl. I'm about halfway through it now. Starting to pick up the momentum on it, finally. But, it's definitely been... It's just been busy, you know? Boom! Playing around with the Pocket TCG for Pokemon. Getting unusually high amounts of luck with it. That's awesome. Sometimes RNG can be a little strange when it comes to online stuff. So when we play Dungeons and Dragons, Steel likes to roll using the dice that it provides from inside the app, and it rolls exceptionally high all the time. And then, you know, it's like, the interesting thing is that he swears up and down, you know, that what they say about the software is that it's been proven to be perfect, you know, perfectly randomized. But I'm like, I don't know, dude. You seem to get an awful lot of natural 20s and the like for somebody who's the only person who's not rolling real dice at the table. How's Tears been going? So, we've been doing pretty good. I haven't been live in about a week and a half, I think. Yeah, just with everything going on around here, there just hadn't been really sufficient time to make the stream happen. So, but we're getting it today, and as you can tell, I'm totally just screwing around trying to collect as much Zonite as I possibly can. But we're closing in on the finish for this. So, we're getting pretty close. I really think we're just gonna ruin those guys' day at the first opportunity. That is the Spirit Temple, but this construct cannot climb a sheer cliff face. However, the construct might be modified somehow in a way that enables access. Go, Link. We are drawing very near now to the secret stone. Ouch. Ouch. There we go. Probably based on a see it. I cannot guarantee he didn't find a way to modify. Well, I don't think that he would have. I trust my brother-in-law very, very much. So he's a incredibly honest person through and through. I mean, I've gotten to know him through the years pretty well. So also can't guarantee someone doesn't bring a loaded die or that they learn how to throw it in a way that gets 20s more consistently. And I mean, you're not entirely wrong. You know, I do know that when he does roll real dice, he likes to use a dice tower to help with that randomizing. But it's just kind of peculiar that the software seems to roll as high as it does consistently when everybody else's rolls tend to be so low. Here we go, Spirit Temple. Excuse me, you dropped your Symphony of a Dying Star tonight, so here's one. Thank you very much, Scorns. How you doing this evening? I accept that in gratitude while I lay dying. A lot of new games you're going to be streaming? What all do you have in mind, Moon? Most of the dice on popular 3D printing websites are loaded by default. That's interesting. It is a little difficult to guarantee that a dice is actually perfectly balanced unless they're especially marketed to say that they are. It is what it is. Oh yeah, when that song came out, the piano rendition of it came out, I was listening to it pretty consistently for like 3 days straight, for like multiple times. Vitamin water, yes. I have not had a Mountain Dew in 6 weeks, so making some progress. Surprisingly though, I'm not really losing any weight this time. That probably has everything to do with, I have not been as consistent about trying to diet this last time around as I did last time. But, all the same, still have not had... I can't say that I haven't had soda because I have had a sip of 7-Up and a little bit of Fresca at the D&D night the other night, so... Got the flavor. Dragon fruit between the dragon fruit and the Aki berry. Or the Achi berry? Aki berry? Forgot. I know we covered it before, but I forgot how it's actually pronounced. The new Zelda, that Metaphor game, and just some other stuff. I haven't heard much about Metaphor, I don't think.
That construct! I made it long ago. But the glow... It must be under the control of something monstrous.
Ding, ding, ding. Seized construct. Storage of the Spirit Temple.
If the Demon King has turned my creation into his pawn, we must defeat it. We can do this together, Link.
Whoop.
Let's go.
Ouch.
That construct. Those devices
Ouch.
are very dangerous.
Yeah.
Be careful. That worked. Maybe we can make use of the devices around us. We will not be able to force our way past its defenses. We must think of something else.
Same people who made Persona, so I imagine I'll enjoy it. Nothing is perfectly weighted because it's different faces, more or less taken out of them for different characters. Numbers they are painted on, different numbers have more or less paint. That is true.
It brought out more
It'd be a whole scientific process to try and get a perfectly balanced dice.
We won't last long at this rate. We need to find another approach.
Oops. I think we've got this under control here.
You've almost done it, Link. Remain ready for anything.
There we go. Ads! Play similar to the games owned, so I've played a little bit. Can confirm it's definitely one of my favorites of 24 for Metaphor. Oh, Refantasio. Yeah, Refantasio. Refantasio or Fantasio. Heard for it is it's Persona with almost all the problems Persona tends to have fixed. Well, that's good at least. Have a gutsy feeling Shadow of the Erdtree is going to sweep the awards. Someone who's been into From Software since Dark Souls came out. I want any game to win Game of the Year despite the ugly controversy surrounding a game that's DLC to be even qualified made me quite upset. I agree. I actually kind of agree that the inclusion of Shadow of the Erdtree for a potential candidacy, the exclusion of the rule specifically this year, just so we can add Shadow of the Erdtree, like, I don't. It's disgusting. Quite frankly, it's kind of gross. Because any game that has come out this year, honestly, superly deserves it. And it's not fair to any game that had fantastic DLC released in the past, you know? If they were going to allow for best DLC to be a category, like, I wouldn't have mind if it was like it was an added category that they decided that they needed to include, best DLC release of the year. Sure, why not? But to allow for a game to win, to be nominated for Game of the Year again, just because of its DLC, it's like we're gonna put Elden Ring up to win 2 Game of the Year awards 2 years apart from each other. Nah. And this is coming from somebody who absolutely loves Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. I had such a hard time putting that game down the first time that I picked it up. And then the DLC for it was awesome as well. I really, really love Elden Ring. But I do not want it to win Game of the Year again this year. I don't. Awards show hater. It's a few hours of advertisements judged by people who don't really consume a lot of the medium. Claim to consume. They can definitely be bought without much convincing. And I mean, we have been seeing a lot of that as well. I was actually watching something regarding IGN giving the new Mario and Luigi Brothership game a solid 5 out of 10, and now the gaming community is absolutely livid for it too. Basically criticizing it for things that they've applauded in other games. So it's like, how does that make sense, you know? Nevertheless, I will be watching the Game Awards because I actually do enjoy watching it. I do enjoy watching the advertisements, the trailers for the new games, and announcements. So I'll watch. I definitely have to say I really sincerely hope that it's not Shadow of the Erdtree that takes the win. But nonetheless, I will be watching. Would rather see Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, or Metaphor get the victory instead. It's always about the media and less of the gamers per se. That's why everyone, and myself included, just wants new games every year. Care about consumerisms. It's a difficult thing because, like, I don't know. For me, it's no longer good enough to just like want new games. But I'm just getting to this point where honestly things are kind of slowing down. My priorities are kind of shifting on me a little bit. I want good releases. I don't want the saturation anymore, if that makes any sense. Like there's too much for me to play, not enough time to play it all. And as DLC gets to be a bit older, like I'm spending more time doing the things that he wants to do. You know, it's like, yeah, he likes to watch me play video games, but that's not kind of exclusive to, to what our activities are anymore. You know, it's one thing. It's one thing that we do. And most of the time he wants to be invested in the things that he enjoys. So I have to provide him an opportunity to watch the TV that he wants to watch the YouTube that he wants to watch, you know, be a part of the life that he is leading. And he's 4.5 now. He's not shown a whole lot of interest towards video gaming. And that's okay. I mean, and things could change for him down the road. All I know is that when I was playing Super Mario Bros. When I was 3 years old. Like, gaming has been a big part of my life for a long time, but as DLC's life has kind of become a bigger part of mine, you know, gaming becomes a sidebar thing. But that's just the thing, is that now, because of that, because he's got all of his own interests and I want to be a part of his life, my priorities have shifted a little bit. DLC likes music. He actually pretty into music. In fact, he's taken to asking me what my favorite songs are. As we listen to them in the car, he'll ask, "Daddy, what's that song called?" Most people like that is fair. Well, he sings. He's a really good singer. He's been able to pitch correct, like key correct and everything, since he was only learning to sing when he was 2.5. He's a good singer, and he really enjoys listening to good songs. So the fact of the matter is that like he's kind of put more emphasis into trying to learn things like that, music, not so much art. He doesn't really do a whole lot of drawing, which that's probably Kyo's portion of lamenting right there, is the fact that he's not really playing, or he's not really wanting to draw either. But you know, it is what it is, and that's just fine. I just but because my time is now so limited, I no longer have that time available to just sit and play through tons and tons of video games, which means what I do play, I kind of want to be a good quality game. How's it going, Juju? Welcome in. Gaming industry made such huge drastic changes within the last decade. This year was, objectively speaking, the worst one the community has ever witnessed, with many layoffs, studios foreclosing, controversies upon controversies. Is just a never-ending cycle. My passion for gaming isn't going to change or disintegrate, but my perspective and interpretation on the industry may vary depending on who I associate with. Same for music. That's fair. I think that what's popular for media in terms of news for video games versus what's actually popular for the gamers themselves. I mean, we knew that those were two separate things. That's not news. Everybody knows. But I think that really at the heart of it, it's like the gaming industry is going to have to revolutionize in 2025. It will be interesting to see what that all looks like. You seen what's happening to Dragon Age? They're denying anything negative about the newest one. It's already had 50,000 refunds. IGN was never the one. They thrive on making people mad. Not everything that IGN says is crap. Most of it is, but not all of it. Occasionally, there is some things in IGN that I actually do value, but you know, it's not everything. It's definitely not everything. But no, Juju, you'll have to tell me more about what's going on with those refunds. We've got this cutscene, so we're going to run this. I'll get out of you guys' face for just a minute, and I'll come back to you. But yeah, Juju, tell me what's up.
Zelda asked me to aid you, Link. I am the Sage of Spirit, and one of the Zonai. Minoru. I am glad to meet you, Link. I must thank you. It is because of you that we have recovered my secret stone. Originally, my intent was to awaken when you first found the Porapad, then to guide you to my construct and assist you on your journey. I had not anticipated a battle with that same construct. You have proven quite adept, and I am grateful for all your efforts. Link, here. In the name of Minoru, Sage of Spirit, I grant my power unto you. I believe it will serve you well. With this power I've given, a deep bond has been forged between us. And from this point forward, my spirit will reside within that construct. I will help you however I can. Aha!
I am one who lived in the distant past, in the age of Hyrule's founding. Circumstances forced me to forsake my body and become a being of pure spirit. Long have I slumbered within Zelda's Purapad in order to share what I knew when it passed into your hands. I apologize that our meeting has been so long delayed. The Demon King's interference is to blame. Nevertheless, I ask your pardon.
Well then.
Now, on to the topic at hand. In my own age, the distant past, from your perspective, Zelda awakened as the Sage of Time, and appeared before us. What I must relate to you is a tragedy that occurred in Hyrule's history. At its crux was Zelda, who held a secret stone and traversed time.
Aha!
She made a momentous decision in those days gone by. I would have you know of the resolve she poured into that blade, the Master Sword.
Long ago, my people, known as the Zonai, came down from the heavens to the surface of the world. It was said they were descendants of gods. They bore treasures from these same gods, secret stones capable of amplifying the abilities of those who possessed them. Using the knowledge of the Zonai, my younger brother Rauru became a great leader. He met a young woman named Sonia, and they would wed. Rauru gifted Sonia one of the secret stones. Together, they sought to establish their kingdom. This is how the kingdom of Hyrule, with Rauru and Sonia as its first king and queen, came to be. The future looked bright. However, tragedy suddenly struck. A man of great evil emerged from the desert. The leader of the Gerudo, Ganondorf, killed Queen Sonia and stole her secret stone. Using the secret stone, Ganondorf transformed into the Demon King. He then created swarms of monsters and attacked. Hyrule rose up to face these threats, but the evil power driving the monsters forward was staggering. The defenders were on the brink of defeat. Rauru then came up with a plan to turn the tide of the war. He entrusted secret stones to warriors with exceptional abilities. They became sages and united in an effort to finally defeat the Demon King. Rauru and the sages outnumbered the Demon King and should have been able to stop him. However, the Demon King's power had grown far beyond anything we could have imagined. I was unable to withstand his strength. Our fight appeared all but lost. And then, Rauru. He committed himself to one final act.
That pride will be your downfall, Ganondorf!
You plan to hold me here? What a clever way to solve your problems. But are you ready to pay the price for this?
Don't be so smug. I know exactly what it will cost me.
Thousands of years will pass in the blink of an eye. You only delay the inevitable.
You're wrong. Years from now, someone will appear with the sword that seals the darkness. A swordsman with the power to defeat you, Link. Remember this name.
Link. Interesting. I look forward to meeting you.
Aha!
You know this tragedy as the imprisoning war. Though it took all we were able to give, we succeeded in imprisoning the Demon King. But I was wounded in the process. My body was soon to expire. That is when Zelda came to me, bearing a decayed and broken sword. Yes, you will recall how the Master Sword vanished from your hand at the Temple of Time. From there, it traveled into the distant past, appearing in Zelda's hands. And now you hold it once again. Oh, cutscene after cutscene.
You're saying that sword traveled through time the same way you did?
Yes, but more importantly, in my original time, the Demon King was vulnerable to even the smallest piece of this sword.
Even someone like him has vulnerabilities. Then, what exactly are you suggesting we do with the sword?
Over time, the Master Sword is able to absorb sacred power. It can heal itself, and even grow stronger.
Curious. If we were able to empower it in that way, It could be the key to defeating the Demon King. But it could take centuries for that sword to grow strong enough. The power the Demon King wields. I do not see how this can be done. It would be impossible for you to provide it with sacred power for so long.
I can think of one way.
You mean?
Yes, I can do it. I have to.
I've told you. That act is forbidden. For a very good reason. It would mean throwing yourself away.
Oh, Minoru!
You won't be able to change back.
The moment I had the sword, I knew what to do. I knew this was why I came to this era. I want to restore the Master Sword and deliver it to Link.
I understand. You really have made up your mind? Very well then. As a Zonai, I bear my share of blame for these events. So I too will devote myself to this goal, and to this hero of yours. For the swordsman Link, I will do everything I can. Even if my body should perish, I will still be with you in spirit.
Steam refunds is not fully an indicator the game has more problems than any given Steam game. The refund system is partially designed to be a lower hassle way to make sure your PC can handle the game before your money is completely tied down. Yeah, I'll read more into that Dragon Age bit here in just a minute. Afterward, Zelda and I discussed strategy. We laid the groundwork for guiding you to the distant future.
Well then.
Guiding you in the distant future. Before the gloom's affliction took my life, I became a spirit and entered the Purapad. Then Zelda did what she felt she must and began the forbidden process. She believed you would use the Master Sword to defeat the Demon King and restore peace to Hyrule.
Aha.
You already have in hand the hope that Zelda left to you, the sword that seals the darkness, the Master Sword.
Well then.
Go now, Link. With the Sword of Hope that Zelda left to you, you will surely smite Demon King Ganondorf. He will not take everything. This world does not belong to him. Vow of Minoru, Sage of Spirit. Because, yes, I totally want the construct to be wandering around beside me, taking up the entire camera space. For the record, guys, I'm not a fan of the construct. All right. Appreciate that hydrate. Oh yeah, I know. I am well aware, Power. I was actually planning on doing just that. Since, yeah, this one in particular is just, it's kind of obnoxious. Yeah, I won't turn them all off, because I actually do enjoy playing with them, but not that one. Forgot one thing. Save! You forgot that this auto-saves. I am a smithing construct. Minoru created me to try to unlock the hidden potential of Zonite charges. I was made with the unique ability to temper Zonite for weapons and equipment. I was driven into hiding when a minion of the Demon King occupied the Spirit Temple. But you and Minoru have cleared the way. I can perform my work once again. You have my wholehearted thanks. I would ordinarily not work for anyone other than Minoru, but you are a special case. I will gladly exchange my special weapons and equipment with you. It will be up to you to provide the Zonite. I don't want any of these, thank you. Await further commands. Now this title has autosave, so I don't really have to worry too much about making sure that I save the game. Alright guys, so with where we are at now, I'm pretty sure I told you I don't want to hang out. With where we're at now, I think, did I or did I not dismiss you? There we go. Yeah, we are officially within range to finish this game, which is pretty awesome. What do you guys think? Should we... There's probably not enough time for us to work towards actually finishing it tonight. But should we see about like some extra shrines in the meantime, or what do you guys kind of want to see? Do you guys want to see that that progress towards the end, or shall we collect missing shrines and complete some temples, or not temples, shrines and side quests? This is a very good deposit of Zonite, so I'm going to deplete this before we go anywhere else. So Veilguard is the new Dragon Age game, right? And you said that there's a total of 4 of them now? Because I know that there was Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's all of them. So it comes up with different mechanics and basically nuke the previous gameplay and story and characters. Most people I've seen have liked Dragon Age Veilguard, even though it's a little different. Most people don't have their saves from previous games, so it doesn't matter to most people that you can't do the continue your info from an older game to affect the new game thing. Interesting. I wasn't aware that they were even kind of concurrent like that. That is pretty neat, though. Almost got all the Zonai out of here, so... Or Zonite, I should say. Okay, and where is the, There's got to be a place to clear out... to illuminate this area. Smells of a conspiracy theory made up by someone who is disappointed in the game, thinks it's impossible for everyone to like a game they don't like. Made it bomb is most of the original people at BioWare left after DA Inquisition, which is another reason why Mass Effect franchise is currently on hold. Oh, I'm trying to think which, I've played some BioWare games before, and I'm not sure which ones. By chance, did they do the Arkham games? Oh, it was Knights of the Old Republic. Okay. Yeah, because I knew I'd played something from them. I just was drawing a blank as to what. Thank you. Nothing to go up to over here. Oh. Yeah, they did Arkham. I thought so. Bray really likes Veilguard. Not as much as earlier entries, but he really likes it. I've been doing a serious playthrough for stream in anticipation of Veilguard. Bray's pretty cool. I would definitely trust the opinion of a streamer such as Bray. I don't really have a whole lot to contribute to that, but it's probably to be expected that anytime that there is an entry to any franchise, any kind of a follow-up, there is almost always some that will not appreciate the changes that are made. And this is not just true for gaming, but for music as well. You know, that's kind of the thing, is that the philosophy that a lot of people have is, you know, why change a formula? It was already proven to work, such so on and so forth. But the reality is that artists should not be confined to doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's my opinion. Anybody's welcome to their own, of course, but the thing that I think makes up a great artist's journey is the adaptability and the willingness to take chances, and sometimes that pays off, sometimes it doesn't. I know in the world of the video gaming community, that's kind of a dangerous risk to play, because if more people hate it than they like it, then you're kind of stuck with a game that you that nobody likes. That would be a very not great thing for a developer. But it would be very, very boring if everybody just made the same games over and over and over and over and over again. As has been proven by other series before. Fact of the matter is that things do need to change at least a little bit from entry to entry. And it's okay if something new isn't your favorite. If something new doesn't quite get you excited the same way that other entries in the past have. I experienced that myself with the Legend of Zelda series, if I'm perfectly honest. Because when Breath of the Wild came out, I was excited. But I also had hopes that it would be kind of what I was expecting it to be based off of the trailers that had been released up to that point. We had waited such a long time for any kind of information about Breath of the Wild. And to be honest, it wasn't the game I expected it to be. Breath of the Wild ended up being vastly different from anything that I had even kind of... I mean, I had kind of expected it to be this this open world title, sure, but I was not expecting for some of the loss of the progressionary system that I had become so accustomed to throughout all the ages of Zelda games. And that sometimes was a little bit of a difficult thing for me to get over, was the fact that, you know, my Zelda wasn't going to be the same as it had been in the past. But it does, while it might not be my absolute favorite series to play between Tears of the Kingdom, or Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I still think that they are good Zelda games. They're just not, they're not the ones that I enjoy as much as I have enjoyed others. And that's all I'm really trying to get at with that. Personally, I'm one of those individuals that I don't necessarily need it to be the exact same as it was back when it was Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess or even, you know, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask or anything like that, but in closer similarity, I would love to see it come back to closer similarity to that. Now, I have heard that the Echoes of Wisdom game does a good job of returning to an older format, whilst also blending the new that was Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild in. Arkham Games was Rocksteady, okay. My phone just being a dumb idiot. It's also been shocking how stable Veilguard has been on PC. Famously, every entry in Dragon Age before it, highly unstable on launch and got better in patches. Veilguard has actually been fairly stable. It's good to try something different every so often, hence Skyward Sword versus Breath of the Wild versus Echoes of Wisdom. That's why people keep buying Call of Duty, EA sports games. Nothing is innovative or accessible because the consumers just keeps buying it. They watch it turn into massive amounts of turmoil. Yeah, and that's... I guess that is true. Like, I don't know enough about Call of Duty. Like, I do know a lot, but I don't know enough about Call of Duty to know really what changes between each of the releases. My observation has been not much. And that I also imagine that, as is the case with that game franchise, that sports games also probably have a very similar issue as well. It's over there. That's where it is. Certainly did not mean to do that. Devs at Nintendo were asked fairly soon after launch of Tears of the Kingdom if they were going to do another game in the world of Breath of the Wild again after Tears. And they said they're sick of working on it. I honestly can't say I blame them. Games of this scope, while highly successful, while they do provide an awful lot for people, provides a lot for gamers to do. I think that it's also very easy to see how people often find themselves overwhelmed with the options that they experience. I know I get overwhelmed. Oh, golly. I really don't want to have to attach with this extra piece, but I don't seem to have a choice. Oh, where even did that go? I'm almost beginning to wonder if that arrow even actually hit the ground at any point. It's kind of looking like no. Oh boy. God of War is a great example. Huge fan of the series since 2 on the PlayStation 2. When we reboot 2018 turned to Norse mythology straight away from Greek. It was the pinnacle of gaming in that particular vein, not just for 2018. The series as a whole. Insomniac did the same for Marvel's Spider-Man. Look how successful that turned out. Sequel and Miles Morales sold decently well in that company with Santa Monica Studio and others. Yeah, that is true. And the God of War game, God of War Ragnarok, I am really enjoying playing God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, it's definitely provided a lot of diversity with its options while holding true to what it is for so long. Which is good, you know. I'll use the rewind to get airborne. That makes sense. Should have tried that. Sure that people who know Zelda as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are disappointed with Echoes. I'm very eager to get into it. I'm looking forward to something a little bit more simple for a Zelda game. A lot of that has to do with the fact that we've been running this series playthrough for a pretty long time now. It's been over 3 years in the running since we began the series playthrough. We started that back in 2021. It was like August of 2021, so it's It's been a good minute. And the crazy thing was that when we were starting Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom had just come out, so... But part of this has been my inavailability, trying to break things up, trying to do probably more than I should on stream all at once. I do like to do variety gaming, but unfortunately, with the size that Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild have been, they've made it very difficult to try to stream more than one thing. And if I do, they can't both be open worlds, because I burn out real quick on open worlds if I'm working through two different games that are both open world. Yeah. It's not so fun. I think that there is a method of doing what gamers enjoy from your game whilst also creating a little bit of diversity for it as well, or like changing it up a little bit. But I know people were very, very sour about the fact that Wind Waker went in the direction that it did. A lot of people had issue with the cartoony style for it, and the fact that, you know, it had gone to this vast, desolate ocean, and getting from point A to point B took so much time. A lot of people were, frankly, upset with Nintendo for putting out a game like it. Oh, I totally didn't even realize that we're right above one of those openings. I am certainly interested in going back and seeing some of those older God of War games now that I'm coming up on a finish for the Ragnarok, and I've done 2018 now twice, but Ragnarok is really good narratively. I am curious about some of the elements that are in the past games. I mean, I have seen some gameplay of the old ones, so I have somewhat of an idea of really what's been maintained through the games. But I would love to I'd love to delve in if I can find more time for doing those games. Kind of prefer having a little bit of space where I don't have to constantly engage. There's nowhere in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom where you can just walk around without running into something to do. Makes me feel like I can't just take a breather without having to full pause the game. That is interesting. I guess I've never really thought about spacing like that before, because a lot of people have had complaints about games like Final Fantasy 15, where it feels like the open world was provided, but there's not really anything to do within it. And, you know, honestly, I don't disagree with that statement as somebody who's played Final Fantasy 15. I liked Final Fantasy 15, but I've only ever played it one time. And that has a lot to do with the fact that I just didn't really experience a lot of replayability out of it. There has got to be a light route or something down here. There's gotta be. Actually, one of my favorite Zelda entries. I love those cel-shaded novelties Nintendo did. That same in Twilight Princess being number 2. Link to the Past being my number 1. Seems many major companies are still risky. Hesitant to take experimentations for major franchises. 15 or 13? 15. Final Fantasy 15. Provided an open world, and there just wasn't a lot to do in it. And I'll level with you guys. I'm actually a little scared to put my hands into Final Fantasy 16 because it just seems like there's too much to do in it. I don't think I really want to play too many more open world games anymore. I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, yeah, give me something linear, you know? I want linear progression. I don't need a vast open world with 20 of the same exact quests for me to do dotted all over the map, and then for it to culminate and give me something special that I'm probably not going to use anyway because I've gotten accustomed to the way that I'm already playing the game, and to change the formula would just be to screw with my neurodivergency of loving to do what I learned to do at the start of the game. So. A blue-white... What the... Blue-white frocks. How difficult are you going to be? Woo! Oh, dear. Yes, that's the one. Oh dear, this is gonna be tough. Woohoo! Oh dear. I think we better, yeah, we better pick a better... Whoa! Whoa! Oh my hell. That one's gonna hit for sure. Oh dear. Dude. Okay. Damn. Alright. What else have I got that's gonna hit just as hard? Guess we're gonna use this. Come on, dude. Get wrecked! Whew. Well, that was interesting. Definitely had to make a calculated risk on that one, but glad it paid off. Final Fantasy XV's main story was somewhat dull, with characters not as engaging or exhilarating, so to speak. I feel like Square Enix at that time wasn't sure what to do properly for the franchise. I think 16 fixed the root of the problem, and I hope they don't go down spirally the rabbit hole since Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Dragon Quest. 15 didn't really grab me. Not a lot of games do grab me nowadays like games used to do. It feels like a little sad, especially since I'm under no delusion that it's anyone's fault other than my own. I mean, I know what you mean. 15's music, visuals, and DLC was better than the base game. That's just my hot take. It had good music. Like, it had good music. The story was okay. The problem was, I think, that the deliverance for the, the delivery for the game was just kind of a little, left some to be desired, I guess. Wasn't as big as I'd hoped it was. Biggest complaints I heard about 15 was that because the director of the game left before all the DLC came out, they didn't finish the story at all. They did not. That is actually correct. The problem with Final Fantasy 15 was that it had already suffered a lot of directional problems up to the point that it was released at. Because Final Fantasy 15 started off as a spin-off for Final Fantasy 13, known as Final Fantasy 13 Versus. There was even promotional trailers and everything for it that depicted early versions of Noctis and Prompto. And unfortunately, you know, it's like that project just wasn't shaping up, and they eventually turned it into Final Fantasy 15. Not really a huge deal that it didn't come to fruition as 13 Versus, at least not to me. But I know that some people were very kind of devastated by that. And then 15 released incomplete, and they just kind of expected that they were going to. I almost feel like this was one of the beginnings for making a trend of games where it's like, you don't actually give us the best part of the game first. You give us this season pass with the expectation that everyone's going to buy in, and you're going to add more content to the story so that we can actually experience what that story is supposed to be. But the problem is that they had so many plans to add in for DLC that they released half of the game as the base game. And then when they added the season pass, when they were marketing the season pass for it, they were saying, okay, this is going to cover all of the additional content that we will be adding to the game. It's annoying, but sure, yeah, why not? So they did just that, and they made good on that promise, but that's not where it ended, really. Unfortunately, they got started with the makings of the DLC, and then realized that they had still more content in DLC, and were rapidly losing out on money. So, because they were making more DLC than they had actually brought in income for through game sales, now they could no longer deliver on the promise that the DLC was going to be covered by Season Pass owners, and they started making people pay for DLC that they were promised that they would have without having to pay more money. And even still, by the time that they got to where they finished off with it, it still wasn't actually everything that they had hoped it would be. It still had its issues. It still turned out to be... I mean, I haven't played all of the expanded content, I will admit. But the fact of the matter is that the game under-delivered, and it wasn't complete when they had to call it quits on it. There was plans for additional DLC past what they had added, which the last pack was Episode Arden. And it's like in the middle of doing all of these DLC packs, they eventually released the Royal Edition, and that Royal Edition was supposed to be like, oh hey, this is going to be the like the absolute ending for, you know, all the content. All the content is finally bundled, but after they had released Episode Arden, all of a sudden they're saying that Episode Arden isn't part of the Royal Edition. So even if you buy the Royal Edition, which was supposed to be all of the DLC, you still have to buy Episode Arden separately. It's like, what kind of bullshit scheme is this? Yeah, I'm still a little salty about it, if you couldn't tell. I have all of the DLC packs. I've played 2 of them. I actually haven't finished the second one. Jojo light root. Joj. However you're supposed to say that. Wump. Boom. I love a good open world game if it's done right without the throwing curveballs, gamers, all that. Sometimes the lack of investment and time being spent on a game like Breath of the Wild, Red Dead Redemption 2, or any other Elder Scrolls entry should be enjoyable at a pace without having to be overly aggressive and stressed that games in that genre are endless fun. I don't necessarily mind if there's like a lot to do in a game. But the fact of the matter is, everybody wants to do open world games these days. Like, everybody wants to make an open world title. And not everything... Whoa! It's been a minute since I've had a follower. Elevator 3, thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that. Was not expecting that. Came out of nowhere. I don't know. Not everything needs to be open world, in my opinion, anymore. I think we're at this point where, with the oversaturation that there is in the gaming market, I would rather have quality, shorter games that I love, and, you know, have shorter games that I love than have a ton of games that I am only semi-interested in. Fit for an autopsy shirt? I see you. I see you. Yes, I've got the Fit for an Autopsy shirt on today. It was either this or Silosis. I was trying to see which one would come up from the clean laundry basket that needs to be put away. When I dumped it out all over the bed, this was the one that came up first. So I said, okay, I guess I'm going Fit for an Autopsy. Suppose we can make our way over this way. At this point, I'm mostly just killing time in this game, because Now that we've finished with the 5th stage, we're pretty much in the stretch. We could go finish this. If that's what people want, but... I get Kubla Khan. No, I can't. I'm, I don't think I could bring myself to do that, Scorns. I just don't think I could. Oh, 14 was really awful at launch. Final Fantasy 14 was a travesty at launch. Original dev team 14 making MMO. They basically said we know how to make an RPG. We don't need to study, take things from MMOs. They proceeded to make a pretty bad game. Redid it later as 14 Realm Reborn after they replaced the entire dev team. It's apparently good now. It is actually phenomenal now. I have not played it, but I've heard that a lot of people who get into it, they really, really love it. It's another one that I'm hesitant to put my hands in because MMOs are a soul sucker. And I don't know that I have that kind of time, quite frankly. I have 14 and I have some of its DLC. But yeah, I have not yet started to invest time into it. As a matter of fact, Realm Reborn starts off with a cutscene, from what I understand about it. And I've seen the cutscene. It starts off with a cutscene where they actually nuke the old world that the game started from. It's like a giant meteor is summoned, and like all of the heroes that were there, they're all fighting in this war, and they're all dying, and then like trying to make like an escape just as this gigantic meteor is summoned, kind of like Final Fantasy VII. And basically it obliterates everything, and they're left with nothing. So, quite literally a ceremonious ending to the what was, in order to introduce the new. Glad that people are still going back to 14. Not big on MMOs myself, honestly. I'm not even big on multiplayer at all. My biggest MMO RPG that I play is Elder Scrolls Online. Yes, I will play Elder Scrolls Online with anybody who owns it on PS4 or PS5. In fact, I was planning on doing some of that this weekend. That is my MMO. I like that I've paid for it once and I don't have to pay a subscription to continue playing it. That is one of the biggest appeals for me. But, you know, if anybody loves Elder Scrolls, I will say this about the game. It's not like playing Skyrim. It is not the same as playing Skyrim. It is not the same as playing Oblivion. It is not the same as playing Morrowind. It does not provide that same air or atmosphere exactly. But it does have some story elements that tie really, really well into the overall story that they've been going with for the Elder Scrolls. So you can find some of the same books that you find in Skyrim and Oblivion. There are pieces of the history that exist because it's the Three Banners War, and you can find books about the Three Banners War in some of the other installments. So it's a prequel really to a lot of the other games, and even some ties and references that go all the way to the first one. All the way to Arena. And I think that that's really cool that they've paid that much attention to the legacy that is... God, I am all for the jump scares today. How's it going, Rar? Maybe I just gotta turn my volume down or something, because... I don't usually startle. You guys know that. You guys know that I don't usually startle that badly, but tonight I am just jumpy as ever. Rar, what is good? What is happening for you? How are you and Randy doing? Hope you guys are well. Except you need to pay for PlayStation Plus. But I'm going to do that anyway because of all the other games I own and that I'm getting for free on a month-to-month basis. So, it's not really a huge deal. But yeah, I still need to... I still have to pay for the PlayStation Plus subscription. But, I mean, that covers all other servers of games that I'm playing online on PlayStation anyway. So, it's fine. I hardly count that as extra cost towards Elder Scrolls Online when I'm clearly getting so many other benefits out of it. So it's like I'm not actually paying for Plus so that I can play ESO, if that makes sense. Thanks for the clip. Yep, you got me. You got me. Sony still refused to let devs cross-play on their systems. Some of them. Not all of them. Final Fantasy XIV, you can actually play with folks on PC and Xbox. But Elder Scrolls, I think I've heard that Elder Scrolls particularly, it either has some kind of a special contractual agreement, or it was developed in a way that makes it incompatible, I guess. So the exclusivity on that one is unfortunately going to continue to be what it is. Ouch. Alright, dude. Get him! Rar, I asked you a question. I asked you how you and Randy are doing. Oh, no arrows left. Damn it. You and the Rand Wolf, how are you guys? How is you? What doing? Miss Keo, she is doing good. This is kind of a particularly rough time of year for her seasonal depression, and it just kind of brings to some unpleasant memories with the way that the air feels this time of year. It's kind of unfortunate, but you know, she'll be all right. But I've been doing pretty good. I'm super looking forward to Thanksgiving. Superly looking forward to Thanksgiving. Who else is looking forward to Thanksgiving? Like, what are your traditional things that you like to eat at Thanksgiving? That would be a good question to ask for everybody here. Whoa, okay, that was almost terrible. I guess that's true. I forget that Canada does theirs a little earlier in the year. Not turkey. No, Scrolls Online isn't cross-play between any devices. Interesting. It is kind of interesting, but I think that from what I've seen, The PC version actually looks pretty different from my version of it on the PlayStation. You don't like turkey, you're a ham girl. That's fair. I feel like that's perfectly fair. My grandmother was actually that same way. She preferred to have Christmas ham instead of Christmas turkey. So, that's not unusual to hear. Boom. Alright, big guy, where'd you go? Seriously. Rolls, cider, pie, and turkey. Boy. I am really looking forward to having some time off next week. I'm frankly getting a little sick of my job, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm tired of some of what's been going on. I don't know. My manager's always been fairly cool, but I guess we've got a new district manager that's above her that is very not so much about the people and is far more about the numbers. And as a result, my manager is now coming down on all of us for numbers and don't appreciate. So it's just small things, all kind of compounding together that I'm just kind of like, you know what? I could get out of here and I'd be okay with that. But that is also going to take some time. Give me all the foodies to be in a coma. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the break next week. I've taken next Friday off. They don't actually give us Friday off. That's kind of the unfortunate thing about working where I do is that, yeah, you get all the holidays paid off, but they don't give you the days before or after off. Yeah, that comes out of your own leave. So, but I took the day off. So I'll be off for... I'll only have to work 3 days next week, which is pretty manageable. I am going the wrong way, I think. Yes, going the wrong way. Appreciate the hydrate and the loosen up. Fan of green bean casserole, stuffing, and ham. I've never been much of a fan of stuffing, but yeah, mashed potatoes. I love me some mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, gravy, and definitely, I'm okay either turkey or ham. I don't really have a preference one way or the other. Both are awesome to me. Ooh, mac and cheese especially. We don't do mac and cheese at our dinners, unfortunately. We'll have to see if anybody wants to fix that. Maybe I'll fix that. No, no, shoot. Okay. Okay. I think that's going to give us, not quite... I think that's going to give us 2 additional charges on Zonai devices. So, we'll come back up to Lookout Landing. Yeah, we really are at this magical point now with this game that we could potentially just be finishing up soon. I could continue to do more shrines and just do more prep work, or we could push to the end. I'm not entirely sure if I feel like I'm ready for the end. I don't know. I think I'd probably like to have like 3 more heart containers before we actually do the end, but... Hey, Alan. How's it going? I knew Mario had a lot of jobs, but I thought it was 30. Apparently, he has 121 jobs. To go along with the 121 stars he's supposed to collect. Super Mario 64. How you doing today? It's good to see you. We're getting the amiibos now. Guess the useless one. Luigi, any Luigi. I do not have a Luigi, unfortunately. I have mostly Zelda amiibos, which I have broken down into a list in my About section. But you are welcome to pick from any of the amiibos that I actually do have. Useless one. It doesn't provide any treasure. It just gives meat. Doesn't even bring Wolflink to the party either. He isn't a good... that's not what I said. I said he's useless. Twilight Princess Link. Sounds good. So that's 2 separate redemptions for you. So let me do... the Wolflink amiibo for Rar, since that only gives us a nice little helping of meat. Do you want to refund or do you want to pick a second one? Let's do the Twilight Princess Link. Yeah, for you. Since you have redeemed that that twice for amiibos, we can either give you the refund or... Okay, sounds good. I'm almost a little surprised Juju hasn't started laying them out, because Juju likes to dump all the points into the amiibos. And at this point, since we're getting close to the end, there's not really any reason to hold back on the amiibo support either. We've unlocked all of the fairy shrines and can get to pretty much all of them now. Or we've unlocked all the fairies, so I should say. You want Mifa? That is a good choice. I like Mifa. I have been booped, and thus began the boop war. I'm sorry, I just bumped my microphone. That's probably horrendously loud for you guys. There we go. Okay, that was a Zora Spear. Don't think there's much here to drop. Okay. Okay, so... Mifa Amiibo gives you fish. I mean, I've never thought about it being messed up before. I guess it is kind of a little screwy, but I don't know. I guess it just kind of makes sense to me because Zora's... As far as I know, Zora's actually eat fish, so... Well, did you find anything out about the 5th sage?
What?
You found the Sage of Spirit? Minoru? This is incredible! That means we have the 5 sages. Fantastic work, Link. I can't believe this is actually one of the sages who faced off against the Demon King alongside Princess Zelda. And now we have news about the princess. There's some relief in that, at least. So, in the ancient past, Princess Zelda worked to restore the decayed Master Sword and return it to your hand, trusting that you would defeat the Demon King in the present day. Looks like we are currently running ads, so I'm going to wait just a second before I resume on that. Zora eats fish? That's cannibalism. I mean, don't fish eat some other fish? Some fish eat fish. Fish eat fish world. I can't claim to be a perfect biologist or anything, but from what I understand, cannibalism tends to be dangerous for the same species, but only in some cases. This is like a really bizarre thing to discuss, and we'd honestly, like, I don't even want to try to explain why Kyo knows as much as she does about the subject. Basically, podcasts, things like Ask a Mortician and the such. The most hazardous thing for a human to consume off of another human being is actually the brain. And once you eat the human brain, you'll never be the same. So there's that. Don't eat brains. Zoras are not necessarily the same fish as what it gives you. Yeah, essentially. You know, I think that it's distant enough. It's like how pigs are technically the closest in fatty substance to humans, but we can consume them without too much to worry about. You know, it's kind of like that. Hey, Kyo. Oh, we got the resub. 34 months with the Prime. Appreciate it, honey. Thanks very much. I'm guessing you probably are wanting me to wrap up here pretty soon. It's probably about that time anyway. Trusting that you would defeat the Demon King in the present day, she did so much all on her own.
What?
The Master Sword was restored, you say? When were you planning on telling me? And it was found on the head of a white dragon of all places. That's hard to believe.
Rawr!
However, this was Princess Zelda's wish, one she believed in so strongly that she gave her life to see it through. For us. Thank you for finding the sword, Link. I have to say, you really don't look quite yourself unless you've got the Master Sword at your side.
Check it.
Now then, it seems you have all you need. You're prepared to face our enemy. We need to determine where the Demon King is lurking. It seems unlikely he'd still be in Hyrule Castle. I can't think of any place he'd be here on the surface. That must mean... That's it. The depths. Well, wouldn't you say there's a high probability that he's in the depths? Do what you think is best, of course, but my suggestion is to ask Joshua for any info she may have. She's enthusiastic about investigating the depths, so I'm sure she'd be happy to help out.
Yeah.
Link, the rest is up to you. Alright, I guess we'll ask Joshua. Hi, swordsman. Are your investigations into the depths in the Yiga clan going well? I'm hard at work too, but I still don't think anything new aside from what I told you about the statues that seem to lead southwest. What about them? You know the chasm in the Forest of Time south of Hyrule Field? Well, another series of statues were discovered at the bottom of it. These statues are different than the one you showed me using the camera. They seem to point the way somewhere too, and do come near where you got your auto-build ability. They don't stop there. These statues lead farther southwest into the depths. Where they go is anyone's guess, but I bet there's a destination far beyond that building worth seeing. Okay, so we're going to be out of time today, guys, but I have a quick question I want to ask you guys. So, Paul, maybe? There we go. Question. In the next session, do we go for finish or more extras? Finish the game. Find some extras first. Okay, so I'm going to run this poll for the next, say, 5 minutes. And I want your guys' inputs, if you will, be so kind on that poll. And let me know if you guys on next session want me to finish this game or if you want me to continue looking for extras. Because I am happy to do either. I do have a longer stream when we play on Friday. So I can play this next Friday, and we should be able to get a little bit more extra done. But based on the response to the poll, I'm curious to know if you guys want to see it finished next session, or if you want me to drag it out just a little bit longer. So, have we got all the memories? We got all the memories. We got all the memories, as far as I know. We might actually be missing one. We have the Master Sword though, so there is that. Seeing an aircraft that a lot of people use in this game that is 2 fans attached to a control stick in a certain way. I've tried that. I can't stay on top of it. I have given that a shot. It looks very very convenient if you can get it to work, but I haven't figured out like the balancing for it. I have a paintbrush? Why do you have a paintbrush, Kyo? I'm confused. Where they go is anyone's guess, but I bet there's a destination far beyond that building we're seeing. At this point, the chasms and the statues are points of focus for the investigation. I'll continue gathering info about the depths. In the meantime, if you make any new discoveries, be sure to let me know, swordsman. We gotta give it our all. My hope is that this investigation will give us a hint in the search for Princess Zelda. Anything else? I haven't received any new reports. I still don't know anything new aside from what I told you about the statues. Okay. So Joshua does not actually have any more information. Joshua is pointing me towards a side quest that I frankly don't really want to do. There's a paintbrush by my name. Yes, that is because you are indicated as my artist. Yep. Yep, and you're the only person in my channel who has the artist badge, so. Okay, so it looks like we actually have 3 voting for finish the game and 2 for find some extras first. Be an interesting little split here. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I am also fairly ready to see the end. That's in construction, yeah? Thanks for proudly displaying all of the emotes. I mean, really, we didn't really do as much up in the sky as we potentially could have done. Yeah, so it looks like there's about another maybe minute and a half left on that poll. If you guys want to submit your opinion through that poll, that will kind of give us the direction on what we're doing on our next session. It'll also let everybody know whether or not they need to tune in for next session. If we're going to be doing the big finale. The big finally. I mean, this is session 22. We've been at this for a solid minute. It's the final countdown. Da, 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 da. Imagine if you had only been at it for a literal minute. That would have been something. 22 sessions. I mean, it's definitely the longest running game I've run on Twitch. So, The interesting thing for me has been seeing an increase of viewers in my VODs on YouTube. Surprisingly, there's been a pretty large uptick lately. Okay, so the poll finished, and people are saying they want to see the game finished. It's kind of a slight victory. So next session, probably expect that we will finish, but that we'll do it slowly. Kind of mix it a little bit so that we're still maximizing some extra shrines and stuff that need to be done, but yeah. But yeah, I've been noticing that there's been an uptick of viewers, because usually my VODs, I see 1 to 5 views per VOD half the time. But session 20 for Tears of the Kingdom went all the way up to 82 and counting. So I don't really know where all this extra viewership is coming from. I never imagined that the YouTube would ever get popular enough for that to even be a thing, but I'm not going to complain. Be an average of 2.72 seconds a game. Just long enough to sign in, say hi, and then leave again. Would certainly be interesting. Thanks for sharing the link to the YouTube, Scorns. Appreciate that. It's below. There's a guy above you. There's a guy above you. There's a guy below you. There's a guy below you. I don't remember if there is actually a way to dive down with this game, is there? Ooh. Frigid. Paul says finished. Yeah, I did catch that. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it does provide some, Ooh, oh dear. Oh, I missed. I did not. Yeah, there's also, stuff still going on down, or in the Korok Forest as well. But yeah, people mostly voting for finish the game. I'm thinking we'll probably at least get another, few shrines in before we finish it. I mean, I have a whole extra block of time, like an extended block of time to play next week. So we should at least make use of that. But before the night is over on Friday, we will finish Tears of the Kingdom. All these poor fish. Hardy bass. Ancient arowana. Yeah, at this point, we're pretty much just rounding up any and all materials we can. We're going to want to upgrade any armor that we can to the most possible. Curious. This looks an awful lot like the depths. More stamina might be helpful. I mean, in my experience, I think that the two worked pretty well last time I played this. I might be wrong, but it was mostly health that I had a problem with on the last game. On my last time through it, I should say. What the heck? There we go. Oh dear. Starting to think I can't attach to this shield. Oh, it is a mirror shield. Okay. Yeah, I got there. Took me a second, but I got there. Don't forget to vote for Wifey Aerith at the VGAs. Scorns might actually haunt you in your sleep if you don't. Okay, time to find out if this is going to be one of those ones that, after all the work to find the dumb thing, if I'm gonna also have to complete a puzzle on top of it. No, this one's just one of Raru's blessings. Like when they get lucky like that. Star fragment. That is superly helpful. Okay, so we actually managed to accomplish pretty much exactly what we were hoping to here. Half expected it to be a combat challenge. That'd have been my luck, really. After climbing my way all the way over here for just for it to be a combat. That would have been my luck. I don't think I got that last hide rate that Rar had provided me. Yeah, this game really likes the challenges where they remove all of your equipment. I am not so much a fan of those ones, but, you know, it is what it is. That light dragon's up there. I kind of really want to try and catch up to it. Yeah, the light dragon has some parts that will be very beneficial for upgrading armor. It's definitely a want. Does Water Temple deserve the hate it got from fans? That is definitely a great question. Personally, no. I don't think that it does deserve the hate that it got, but, one more turn syndrome is in full effect today, I guess. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm having a hard time putting this down. I'm having fun. I definitely need to actually consider stopping before Kyo actually gets mad at me, because that will happen before too long. Definitely a skill issue. It is indeed a skill issue. Mostly, I'm just trying to set myself up for success on the next stream, you know? I just kind of... One more shrine, one more shrine. Yeah, I was supposed to be wrapping up before we found that last shrine, but... I think it's confusing on first-time playthroughs. Most people only do first-time playthrough of a given game. Yeah, the thing is that the Water Temple, it is a very hard challenge for some individuals. It's difficult because it's a space that somebody goes into completely unfamiliar with, unprepared for the twists and turns. And the thing is that not only does it require you to lower and raise the water levels repeatedly in order just to finish the dungeon, but it has some of the keys tucked away in some of the hardest places to even imagine. It's like it's not just down. It's down, but also, like, you have to find a place where you're going to go down and then come back up to a certain level. And it doesn't just do that once, either. There's a couple places where your keys are tucked away in places that you probably would just not have thought to check without some kind of help of a guide or prior experience. The Water Temple is indeed a little obtuse for a dungeon. We got 2 Zelda amiibo requests from the lovely Juju. Yep, we'll do that. Okay. And then we're going to stop. I promise we're going to stop. I've left myself someplace where I'm actually going to remember where we are and what we're doing, so we'll be good. Okay, so first of the Zelda amiibos, we'll do the Wind Waker Zelda. Boop. Just for you. And then we're going to do the Zelda and Loftwing amiibo as well. Guys, we actually still never got the house in this game. A luminous stone. Cool. Okay. Need you, please, yeah. And that's the call. That's the call to end it. Who needs a house when you're the house? A brick house? Kyo need. Go, man. Yeah, I'm working on it. We're wrapping up right now. Okay. Let's do a raid to Margot in the Moonlight, who is currently doing a Ocarina of Time randomizer. I don't know what's going on with her graphics, though. Looks super ugly. But all the same, we are still going to go ahead and give that raid. Thanks for posting those links for me, Scorns. I'm going to go ahead and set up this raid here. So we got raid to Margot in the Moonlight. There we go. Alrighty. So thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out this evening. I will see you guys on Friday, where we will begin the wrap-up process and finishing for Tears of the Kingdom. And you guys know that I'll be hanging out in the Discord server as always. I like to chat with you guys during the week, so just let me know what's going on with you guys. Post your food, post your memes, post your music, post all that good stuff. And I will chat with you guys in the next session, and you guys know the drill. Until then, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll see you next time.